This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, 3 Winter Paralympic team members are announced for next year's Games in Beijing. More than 40 veteran cars and motorbikes take part in a rally in Cromwell. And a huge polar bear is just one of about 200 stuffed animals to go under the hammer in a Dunedin auction. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. New Zealand's Paralympic team has been named in the lead-up to the Winter Paralympics in Beijing next March. However, there were no big surprises in the list of names, with one athlete back for his 5th time.
A sports heroes parade like this one in Wanaka from 3 years ago could well be on the cards for para-alpine skier Adam Hall and his teammates. They've been selected to represent New Zealand at the Paralympic Winter Games in Beijing next year.
It's an honour and a privilege again to be selected in another amazing Winter Paralympic team, this time for the 5th time. So yeah, really looking forward to a build-up again as we approach our final months of preparation towards this campaign, which is exciting.
It'll be Corey Peters' 3rd time at the Paralympics, with COVID likely to bring some changes to the event.
It's going to be different and yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but we're all up for the challenge, and you know, we've got a tight team with the right resources in place to hopefully be successful again.
The team also includes Aaron Ewan, who had to pull out of the last Paralympics with a hip fracture. He's confident he's now ready to compete.
I've been trying to build up in the gym and on snow, but just a constant work in progress.
The team leave for North America in a couple of weeks and will base themselves in the ski parks of Colorado in the lead up towards the Beijing Paralympics next March. In Wanaka, the South Today.
Former All Blacks and Highlanders prop Carl Heyman has been diagnosed with early onset dementia. The player retired from rugby in 2015 and says he spent several years thinking he was going crazy. Once considered the best tight head prop and highest paid player in rugby, Heyman played 45 tests for the All Blacks between 2001 and 2007. Heyman told New Zealand sports website The Bounce that nearly 450 professional games he played took an irreversible toll on his brain. He says it left him with constant headaches and he thought he was going crazy. Heyman is now one of 150 players taking part in a landmark lawsuit against World Rugby for failing to protect players from the risks of head injuries. The windows of Tairi MP Ingrid Leary's South Dunedin office were sprayed with graffiti last night. The Tairi MP found anti-transgender slogans written on her Cargill's Corner office windows this morning when she arrived at work. She suspects one feminist protest group may be behind the graffiti and believes her stance on a bill before the House might be a catalyst.
Look, I've been in support of the amendment to the Births, Deaths and Marriages Bill, which enables people to self-identify their gender. It's a fantastic piece of work that our Minister Jan Tinetti is doing, and I've been vocally supportive of that. But the particular group that seem to have done this and seem to have claimed responsibility are a group called Women's Liberation Aotearoa. They sent a tweet out around midnight showing the defacing apparently, so I'm assuming that it's them.
The graffiti was removed cleanly by lunchtime. Leary says the protesters' actions are cowardly and a sad reflection of their values. She reaffirmed her commitment to advocating for the rights of all women, including trans women. Police are investigating. Old Cromwell Town looked like the set of a period drama film over the weekend as the National Veteran Car and Motorcycle Rally chugged into town.
More than 40 vehicles from around the South Island took part in the classic car rally. The course included a drive from Cromwell to Luggett via Terrace on Saturday. with public displays at Highlands Motorsport Park as well as the Cromwell Heritage Precinct. The Central Otago branch of the Vintage Car Club hosted the event, which drew many spectators to Cromwell to see the range of vehicles of yesteryear. Veteran vehicles are those manufactured up to the end of 1918. They're a rare breed, as a few of the survivors are still roadworthy and in use. Mosgiel Car Club enthusiasts Colin and Joan Pearce joined in the event with their 1914 Sunbeam, which was transported to the rally on a trailer to help preserve the vehicle. Colin Pearce says the car they've owned for a decade is their pride and joy. In Cromwell, the South Today.
If you're thinking a polar bear standing upright in the corner of your living room could be a good idea, then you're in luck. There'll be one going under the hammer at Proctor's auctions later this month. But be warned, another polar bear sold for $44,000 earlier this year.
Wildlife for sale. Dunedin's Proctor Auctions is preparing a range of stuffed and preserved animals to go under the hammer later this month. The collection includes all sorts of exotic wildlife, including a taxidermied juvenile giraffe, mounted trophy heads and the skins of big cats.
80% of the heads that you see on the wall have come from one collector, and then other pieces have come from all over New Zealand, or from Auckland down really, all over the place.
Among the 200 odd items set to go under the hammer is the rear end of a zebra and this fearsome looking polar bear. The auction house sold a similar bear earlier this month for $44,000, but manager Ronnie Proctor won't speculate on how much this one might go for.
Polar bears are a bit of an attraction, so for some reason they're coming out of the woodwork, so it is hard to say what they'll go for. It just really depends on what someone's prepared to pay.
Proctor hopes some of the items might go into museum collections, but he says there's been a growing interest among the general public to have an exotic specimen of wildlife on display in their lounge or hallway.
It's had a bit of a resurgence over the last couple of years. I think you find that people are respecting the animals and yeah.
The auction is set for Sunday the 21st of November. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. A crowdfunding campaign launched by a Dunedin company looks set to reach its $500,000 target, and the Otago Regional Council plans to generate millions of dollars through property sales when it shifts to a new headquarters.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
I think the best thing about it is we're all there to ride safely and deliver that message to, you know, some of the kids that are out there, you know, hopefully showcase that riders and drivers can integrate together. So yeah, it's just being part of sharing that message really of riding safely when you're out on the road.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Welcome back. The second crowdfunding campaign by Dunedin chocolate company Ocho is getting closer to its $500,000 target. Late this afternoon, almost 500 investors had invested more than $420,000 via the Pledge Me website. A number of original shareholders had pledged another $1,000, with new investors averaging about $500 each. Managing Director Jim O'Malley is pleased with their campaign start.
It was really good to see the shareholders come in as strong as they did to start with, because they've been with the company since the start. And we've got a decent number of people who've expressed a lot of interest in wanting to go forward.
The chocolate company's first crowdfunding campaign in 2017 raised $2 million in just 32 hours. The capital raise is open until the end of the month. A well-known Dunedin screen printing business, Uptown Art, is changing hands due to the retirement of its founder. Stu McCormick started the business nearly 40 years ago and has just spent his last day at work.
This week didn't start in a typical way at Uptown Art. The man who started the Dunedin business announced he's leaving.
It's a very hard decision for me, personally. Leslie was ready to go earlier than I was, but she's more sensible than me. But because I love what I do, it was a very hard decision to make.
McCormick set up Uptown Art in 1983 as a screen printing business, after deciding to take control of his signwriting and screen printing career. Over nearly 4 decades, the company's supplied goods to international rugby teams and even printed a shirt for snooker legend Eddie Charlton. But it's another highlight which stands out for McCormick.
Big highlight was meeting my wife. She came to work for us as an administrator, and that was 30 years ago. And we've been together, well, for about 25 years, I suppose.
They're currently in a handover period with the new owners, but admits the couple will miss working. Proprietor and designer Alison Winlock sees a bright future for the well-known Dunedin business.
We're really excited to get into something new, I guess, and we saw potential with Dunedin being a bit of a hive of activity over the next few years with everything that's going on construction-wise.
A team of 4 families teamed up to buy the business, each bringing their own unique set of skills. McCormick is confident he's leaving his creation in good hands. And while methods remain the same, screen printing inks have changed over the years, with solvent or turpentine-based inks on the way out.
We are going to have a bit of a focus on sort of greener business practices, looking at becoming carbon neutral and sort of assessing suppliers and things like that, making it a bit more of a focus, because there's definitely greener ways of doing business.
Uptown Art's had a few locations over the years, with the new team aiming to keep the machines busy at their Leith Street premises. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Otago Regional Council expects to make millions of dollars through property sales once it moves into new headquarters in central Dunedin. The council is planning to move into the former warehouse building in Dunedin's McLagan Street, which is expected to be refurbished by the end of next year. Once complete, the ORC will sell its present Stafford Street headquarters, along with an unused parcel of land in the harbour basin. The two sales combined are expected to generate about $7 million in revenue, although $5 million will be spent fitting out the new McLagan Street headquarters. The ORC recently increased overall rates by 49% for the current financial year. The Gore Parents Centre celebrated its 40th anniversary recently. The centre has provided support and education for young parents since 1981.
About 20 children and their parents had a day of frivolity in Gore as they celebrated the 40th anniversary of the town's Parents Centre. The facility has played an important role in the local community through supporting parents and focusing on antenatal classes and caregiver education.
A lot of people's first introduction to Parent Centre is through antenatal classes or childbirth education, and most families go through that when they have their first child, and for most families in Gore that's been Parent Centre for the last 40 years.
The community-based organisation was formed by the late Karen Stewart in 1981. It's moved a few times over the years, now settled in the Gore hub, with strong connections to the wider community.
Many of those antenatal classes still meet and are still in touch. Some of my daughter's closest friends, and she's 12, are kids that we went through the same antenatal class with, all those years ago, so it's pretty important.
The centre holds a range of different sessions aiming to cater for young children of all ages in the local community. In Gore, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, an Invercargill cyclist claims the 4th stage of the Tour of Southland. And we take a look at tomorrow's weather for you.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Just plan your route a little bit, choose nice and quiet roads. In the winter it's always nice to ride north and south, that way you get the driest route and less likely to hit black ice.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Welcome back. Invercargill cyclist Josh Burnett has been following the Tour of Southland since he was 5. Now the 21-year-old's claimed the 4th stage of the famous race after sprinting clear of a breakaway group to be the first rider up the Remarkables.
The sun stayed out, but the wind has made for a few challenging runs on the Tour of Southland this year. Campbell Pithy used the tailwinds to his advantage on the 3rd stage from Lumsden. The Cantabrian took off on his own leading by up to 6 minutes as the race headed over the steep Black Mount Hill with a quick downhill run home to Tiano.
They were kind of favourable for the breakaway. The wind was kind of behind you, and especially after Black Mount, it's kind of all downhill, so you can hold some speed just even when you're by yourself.
84 riders from around the country started this year's tour, one of the country's most prestigious road cycling races. Pithy's ridden in quite a few, but this is his top finish.
This is my biggest result to date. I mean, I've done this tour now. This is my fifth time doing it, and haven't really come close. I've had a couple top 10s, so it's pretty awesome to take the stage out.
Tour leader Michael Vink was surprised to see Pithy's solo mission, but confident his hometown friend wasn't a threat to his overall race lead after a slow start to the tour.
Campbell's a good mate of mine, and he's had a pretty tough year, and he's a great rider and also a great guy, so I was really happy to see him personally take the stage, but also it was great for us tactically as well because he lost a bit of time on the first day.
The race leader extending his lead in the yellow jersey to 1:43 as riders prepare to tackle the infamous Bluff Hill climb. In Queenstown, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. 3 Winter Paralympic team members are announced for next year's Games in Beijing. More than 40 veteran cars and motorbikes take part in a rally in Cromwell. And a huge polar bear is just one of about 200 stuffed animals to go under the hammer in a Dunedin auction house. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Lots of stuff, I have to say. Plenty of reading.
Lots of stuff?
Yeah, we've got a story on the front which is a bit of a concern for the city. Looking at the state of the city's food banks, they're grappling with record demand at the moment, and of course they've got the cancellation of this year's food bank due to COVID, so there's some real concerns there. We've seen a lot of, I guess, publicity about other parts of the country with their food banks, but it's a real issue down this way as well. So we've got 4 in the greater Dunedin area, and they're all struggling. October was extremely busy, with one of the food banks saying it's the busiest demand they've had, and he's seen in 5 years. So I guess it's the high cost of housing and food, and coupled with people losing hours and jobs with COVID as well. So lots of pressure out there.
Yeah, certainly some people seem to be struggling a lot more than previous years.
Yeah, definitely. And of course the food drive is the traditional Christmas lead-in for them, and it's a good opportunity to replenish the stocks, but that's been cancelled now, so they're trying to put their heads together to come up with alternate ways to get the public to donate food. So hopefully they'll come up with some solutions and everyone can pitch in and help out there.
Maybe donate to those stands in the supermarkets or
yeah,
something.
exactly. We've also got a bit of an exclusive tomorrow with some exciting news for Dunedin rally driver Emma Gilmore. She's signed with one of the big names in motorsport. I can't say too much at the moment, but you'll have to get tomorrow's ODT to read all about it. I know Daryl Baser, who's standing fairly close to us at the moment, is probably the president of the Emma Gilmore fan club, so he's very excited about it. A bit of shock horror as well. There's going to be a shortage of fireworks in Dunedin, just days out from Guy Fawkes. Apparently there's no retailers, or very few retailers, selling fireworks in the city at the moment. Timaru and Invercargill have got some big sales going on, but nothing local at the moment. One of the previous big sellers was, of course, the Warehouse, but they signalled earlier this year they were no longer going to sell them. The fire service, they're not aware of any retailers selling either, so it might be a bit of a quiet one around town. There's a public display plan for Beachlands, but apart from that, could be a bit of a fizzer for the city. See what we did there? Fizzer.
Nice pun, nice
yeah,
pun.
exactly. But some people might actually think it's a good thing because all the issues you got your animals yourself, Mel. So
I know. I was trying not to bring personal perspective into this, but
so yeah, probably not a bad thing in some fronts. And just quickly with sport as well, we've got a wrap of Otago's cricket match against Central at the Uni Oval. We managed 4 days of cricket without a rain delay, which is miraculous this time of year. Nick Kelly getting a double 100 and it ended up a draw sadly, but good display from them. So hopefully they can build on that for the rest of the season.
So you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoleMap.
Looking at the situation, a long run of fine days will take us through to the weekend with temperatures becoming warmer inland. But there will be northeasterly breezes on the Otago coast. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, it's mostly sunny. It's mostly a sunny day here for the region. Westport will have the occasional cloud with 18 degrees. Greymouth similar with 19 degrees. Over to the northeast, it's a cloudy day here for both centres. Blenheim has strong winds with 13 degrees, while Nelson has 16 degrees. As we reach Canterbury, it's a cloudy day for all in this region too. Kaikoura and Christchurch reach 13 degrees. Ashburn will see a warmer high of 16. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns along the coast, the Catlins can expect fresh northeasterlies with clear skies and a high of 14 degrees. Inland at Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore, the forecast is for light winds with clear skies and a high of 16 degrees. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, Wanaka, Queenstown and Alexandra can all expect light northerlies with clear skies and a high of 18 degrees. It's similar in Te Anau with light winds, clear skies and a high of 16. Looking at the northern towns along the coast, Timaru can expect moderate easterlies with clear skies and a high of 15 degrees. Further south, Oamaru sees fresh northeasterlies with clear skies and a high of 15. And moving inland to Taizu and Marama, warm temperatures with light northerlies, clear skies and a high of 19 degrees. In Dunedin, fine tonight with breezy northeasterlies and an overnight low of 7 degrees. It should be mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with fresh breezy cool northeasterlies, a high of 14 and a low of 7. And Friday we'll see a fine and sunny day too with light variable winds, looking at a high of 16 and a low of 4. And it will be fine in Invercargill tonight with an overnight low of 2 degrees. It should be fine on Thursday and Friday too with mostly sunny skies and scattered high cloud. Expect mild afternoon temperatures and cooler temperatures at night with light winds. A high of 16 and a low of 2 for tomorrow, and there'll be a high of 17 and a low of 3 for Friday. And that's the news for this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe to be notified of southern news as it happens. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.